What is going down, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Myself, Mike, Mark, and Sean are back to collide the worlds of sports and comics. Thank you so much for listening live on YouTube and Twitch, and wherever you're listening to, however you're listening to around the world. Thank you so much for the downloads. It comes a long, long way for us. This week in sports, we wrap up the NFL Week 1 and we get into Week 2. Week 1 was amazing. I can't wait to jump into it. College football, again, another wacky week of some upsets and some dominations. We'll look into Week 3 as well. In Major League Baseball, the final push for those last couple wildcard spots. One of our Bay Area teams has already clinched a playoff spot. Nascar is at Bristol for the final race of the round of 16, and the Champions League starts. Even with CR7, Man U doesn't fare so well. And over in comics, we have DC, Marvel, Image, AWA, to name a few. Many books to talk about, new and old, and plenty of news. We have some stats on James Bond movies, we have Penguin spin-offs, we have Hawkeye first trailers, we have all that and more on a brand spanking new episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Sit back, relax, and let's take off. Let's go, fellas.
Very nice. La, da, da, da.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in.
What up? What up?
The Meansome Threesome is back. Actually, I should say the Fearsome.
There it is.
Say the Fearsome Foursome with Sean's ass, but I'm glad to be back.
I don't know what you speak of, sir.
Back. Thank God there are 0 viewers. Oh, man.
That's your ass.
Okay, cool. If y'all ready to go, let's get into it. 3, 2, and 1. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast. Like we mentioned every single week, this episode is brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Not today, but tomorrow, September 15th, 2021 is New Comic Book Day, so go see Alex over at the shop in Fremont or any local shop that you shop at, and please support your local stores. Get those new and old books. Well, you know, it might be the end of summer. Fall is around the corner, you know, with football starting and everything, but it is still hotter than hell out here in the Valley and in most of the Bay Area. Mark, so glad to have you back on. It's been like 3 full weeks now since we've had you on because you had a week off a couple weeks ago. You weren't on last week, so welcome back, sir. And what better timing than to talk NFL, NASCAR playoffs, college football, like your favorite. And, of course, our A's imploding in September. What better time, bro?
Yeah, actually, the A's actually I think they won today. So
oh no,
but
no. They were up big, and then they gave up 6 runs in like the 6th and 7th. They were down 10-7.
Today?
Yeah, in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, yep, there goes the bullpen all over
they-
again. I'll get into that much later.
There goes that that was that imploding that you were talking about right there. I thought you were talking about the weekend that was, but here we are again with them. Yeah, still blowing up, but nonetheless, before we even get into it, congratulations. The Giants did actually clinch a wild card spot at least, but they're up right now on San Diego going for that division title. So congrats to them. We'll get into sports a little bit later, but yeah, it seemed like forever, brother. I'm excited to finally get back, talk these sports, talk these comics, these books. I've been reading like so much because I knew I wasn't going to be on, so I actually like kind of held off on the books from reading, kind of tried to have them fresh in my head for when we talk about them and whatnot, but it kind of sucks with your situation going on. You haven't received yours on time, kind of. So all of our books are kind of mixed around. It's going to be like a little hodgepodge talk, I think, this week of a mix and match of some books and entertainment news as always. But speak for yourself, Mike, about it being hot in the whole Bay Area because it was getting a little bit chilly here in Newark by the Bay today.
It was.
Yeah, man. I know it's still hot. Talk to my parents that are out that way also, and it's hot over there. But I feel the autumn wind rolling in as September reaches the latter stages, if you will. But being excited for the fall, football ramping up, like you said. Excited to be back in the chair, in the throne, and in the studio, and to deliver the fans some a beautiful episode 125, man. How about you, Sean? What's up, brother?
Man, it's Tuesday. It feels a little different, but the same routine with the fellas. Ready to obviously have a good night, episode 125. But all is good, man. To what you said, bro, I actually, took the little guy Buster on a walk. And yeah, I had a little bit of a breeze. Actually, felt like fall was finally here, but during the day, it's still, kind of hot as balls, like Mike was saying. But no, it's good, man. It's that time of the year. We got football. We got some good baseball coming up with the playoffs, and basketball, is going to be showing up in about a month or so here. So it's a good time to be alive, obviously. Comic book situation, you're 100% right. It looks like, for the next, bit of time, there's going to be a little bit of scattered talk with what, we bring up. I know Mike's getting his books late. We're going to have different books that we have already read. But no, hey, we always figure it out like normal. But ready for a fun episode, bro. Can't complain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what else is new? Mike, anything else new with you, brother?
No, not really. I mean, after we finish recording tonight, I'm going to edit it, get this, this episode out for the fans for tomorrow, and then I'm smoking myself like a nice pork shoulder,
Hey, easy. It's not April the 20th yet.
I know, right? That's not the new popular strain with the kids nowadays. No, an actual 9-pound pork shoulder, pork butt that I'm going to be, divvying up to my family members and maybe neighbors and my coworkers. So, I just felt like I needed to. You go to Costco and you get that 2-pack, and I did the first one like a month or two ago. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's my last day until I go back to work for the week. But other than that, What time are you throwing it on the Traeger? Let the fans know. 2-3 in the morning. Gonna do like a
2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Like a low and slow, like 225 for about 5 or 6 hours, and then take it out, put it in some foil, ramp it up to 275 for another 2 hours. Hit a nice internal temp of 205 degrees. Take it off. Pull the bone out. It should come out really easily. Shred it, sauce it, put it on a bun. Forget it.
Yeah, shred it and forget it.
Shred it and forget it. But other than the barbecuing,
there it is.
Sean, myself, yourself, we're going to Las Vegas to visit our buddy Forrest. Me and Forrest will be at the NASCAR race next Sunday. But so this Sunday, I thought I'd treat my family. We're going to that Great Wolf Lodge over in Manteca. And so I got us like a one-night stay on Sunday, and so we'll be able to swim in that big old water park pool thing. They got some like magical game thing that my daughter can do. But yeah, so we'll be there on Sunday. That's pretty much the only thing I have besides work the next 4 days.
Nice, the Great Wolf Lodge. I seen that thing down by Disneyland in Anaheim that they got one. Heard they were opening one up there. Don't know much about it, but I heard it's a grand adventure for the kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it looks almost like the California Adventure Hotel, right?
It kind of looks like it's like a woodland kind of theme. Yeah. And like the one we got, it was like discounted, where it's like one king bed. So that's like me and my wife and probably our son if he's not going to sleep in his own little bed. But like you go into like they have it painted and it looks like the woods, where there's separate room and there's 2 bunk beds. Mm-hmm. So like my daughter's going to feel like she's some little woodland creature going to sleep. So, yeah, I think it's pretty dope. So,
a woodland creature.
I like it.
Yeah. So,
a woodland creature.
So, something to say, hey, thank you for letting me go to Las Vegas by myself for like 4.5 days. Let me do this for you guys. So
you're not going to the race also, Sean?
I'm not. Unfortunately,
I can't. He's like me. I'm not staying till damn Sunday. It's a lot of days in Vegas, man.
That's a lot of days in Vegas with work on Monday, and the Niners are actually prime time that game or that day versus Green Bay. So there's a good chance I'll be going probably straight from the airport to a Niner tailgate into the football game. So that's the plan.
So you leave Sunday morning?
I leave Sunday, land at around 11 or noon. Gates open right at noon. I think that's the time that my father-in-law said, and I'll be landing in San Jose about 15 minutes up the road.
Nice, yeah.
Man, I've been seeing those pictures of Vegas, like for the NFL and the college football and the Circa, and man, I got to get myself back there again. But yeah, a couple times I went. You think you're cool, you're younger, you're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Man, once that Sunday rolls around, that's a long time to be in Vegas, but it was different back then,
But then thank God we're not actually doing like the normal Las Vegas trip people would think of. We're going to our buddy
Yeah.
Forrest's house. He's 45 minutes outside Vegas. We're going to do some redneck stuff, shoot some guns, go ATVing, just wade in like the little pool, exactly, just some America stuff, drink beer, chew tobacco. Well, at least me and Forrest will be doing that. And, actually, I did send him a link and Sean and Joe to like some Torpedo Comics in Las Vegas. So hopefully we can actually hit up an actual comic book store. So hey, if anyone from Las Vegas is listening out there, please hit us up. Tell us of other shops to visit, and hey, you might just grab yourself like a nice sticker or like at least a nice little flyer or something from us. So that'd be cool to meet some people out there, some flyers. So, all right, fellas, let's get into it. Let's do it. So sports. Let's do a nice comic booky Tuesday night quarterback. That you always hear the Monday morning quarterback. This is the Tuesday night quarterback. So we're going to do post week 1 into week 2. Let's just flat out say it. I did not have any high hopes going into the game last night, Monday night. Las Vegas Raiders, first actual game that they're allowed fans in. It looked like it was, rocking at times, but then it was kind of quiet at times also. And just like a lot of our seasons over the last 20 years, a lot of roller coasters, just like Derek Carr said his career's been so far. And, they, like Derek Carr said, they did some things to lose the game and they did some things to win the game, and they did one extra thing to win the game and they came out on top. They gave you a money line win, Mark, and, what more can you ask for? 3 straight opening day wins for the Raiders, if you can believe that. So,
And that stat with the Ravens was pretty crazy. If you saw like their last 4 not home openers, but just opening games, the last 4 seasons, they've just blown everybody
19
out.
Total points, like 1 shutout, 10 points, 6 points, 3 points. Yeah, they gave up like
30.
Yeah, you're right.
But they did have all those injuries. Man, Lamar Jackson is still a bad dude, slithering around, hard to get down. He did have those 2 fumbles, which obviously proved to be huge. But it was definitely, I mean, ESPN, the fans, everybody there, you definitely got your money's worth. I thought we were going to get the good old tie game, you know what I mean? But it was crazy in that overtime. But nonetheless, they come out victorious, man.
The one thing that I can honestly take from that game is if not having to blitz like at all, and if Ngakoue, if he can get back to, because I think he got banged up a little bit, if he can stay healthy, and with Max Crosby playing like he did, if the defensive line plays like they can and get pressure on some teams, they're going to make a little bit more noise than I thought they were going to, especially when you have such a young secondary, KJ Wright coming in, doing pretty well. He made some a couple plays, but if the defensive line can get to the quarterback and kind of make him uncomfortable, that kind of sets the whole tone for the defense, sets the whole tone for, it gets the ball back in your offense's hands, it gets some more time on the sidelines for your defense, and they're less tired coming into the middle of the third quarter when, in other years, the Raiders, that's when they get gassed, and that's when they start giving up big chunk plays and just kind of lose games, whether they're already losing or they're ahead at that time.
Well, KJ Wright actually had that huge, it wasn't a sack, but what was it, like a 3rd and 1 or a 4th?
It was a third down stop.
Or a 4th and 1, and he stopped, but that proved to be a huge play also. So a good game. I didn't know that their defense was going to be like that beefed up. I think the linebackers still looked a little bit slow. I think that they still need a little bit work. Looks a little bit better. Gus Bradley seems to, kind of have his head wrapped around, the defensive side and players, as you will. But, I think they need a little bit of work. I think that, it was fun to watch, but I think that it was the home opener, a lot of, intensity, a lot of, obviously emotions. They played well, but let's see how they, obviously do next week going over to Pittsburgh.
I think what Mike said is the key for the Raiders this season. Offensively, they're efficient. They got the 2-headed monster in the backfield, even with Jacobs a little hurt. Drake played, pretty damn good. Bryan Edwards turned it up late in the game. Renfro, that boy's a dog. I love Renfro. He works hard. He makes plays. Waller, enough said. That guy's just too damn good. But defensively, Gus Bradley just brings that Seattle vibe. They don't blitz. I think the Raiders' first blitz wasn't until the 3rd or even early 4th quarter, and they kept getting constant pressure. And, our 4th overall pick 3 years ago, Farrell didn't even play. So I think as long as they can just maintain that pressure on any quarterback going forward, get the linebackers more and more experience, it helps out those young cornerbacks to get more confidence. they have a chance to do some pretty damn good things this season, in my opinion. You got to remember the Steelers had no preseason. So, yeah, that early first quarter, like, crap. Carrs missed like 6 or 7 straight throws. You get a little nervous, but once you started getting, okay, the rest is off, getting right back to playing football, pitch and catch. Hey, they were rolling yesterday. I mean, it wasn't comfortable like I thought it would be, but they did come out with the victory, so that was good for the nation.
Yeah, I mean, those wide receivers and Waller, they didn't seem too it didn't seem too hard for them to get open, but they're not. I'm telling you, if the offensive line played like they did last night, Carr's not going to have a lot of time, with Leatherwood or Leatherhead, whatever the hell his name is. He had sort of a rough first game. He had the early penalty and then the costly late penalty. So, if they can hunker down and play a little bit better than fine, but if they're going to play anything close to that, then those wide receivers, especially Ruggs, they're going to have to get open quick because Carr's not going to have a lot of time. And, they're going to have to scheme their way to become a halfway decent running team too. They have the two-headed monster, so we'll see. But
shout out Edwards, actually.
That boy, man.
Ruggs, Edwards, they didn't seem to really be doing much all game, but they turned up when the lights were brightest, right? When they needed him the most. That Jones kid that caught the winning touchdown in overtime. But it's not just so much about. They had good plays at the end of the game. It's like, I think that was a real confidence boosting win. Like everything was going against you, gets to overtime. You think you won it. You're on the field, you're celebrating 1 yard line, bring it back. Then the atrocious, unfortunate interception in the end zone. But man, what a roller coaster of emotions for a lot of those young players, and just to come out victorious opening night and get some of these younger players get big catches towards the end. I just think that's a real big confidence booster going forward. And going forward also, man, the NFC West and the AFC West, the only two divisions to be undefeated.
Crazy.
Sean, if you want to talk about your West and your Niners, I mean, I don't know if Goff knows them good or if the Niners defense was just, kind of sleepwalking a little bit in the Motor City, but they actually gave up a lot of points, man, to Detroit. So touch on that one, Sean.
More points than I wanted them to.
I mean, it was only 17 with 2 minutes left in the game, though. They gave up too late, then the onside kick, so it was a little misleading.
I'm with you on that. That's why I've been telling people, like, oh, you guys only won by 1 score. I'm like, yes, it was 1 score, but it's one of those, like, once Barrett got hurt, we kind of stepped off the gas. We have a rookie defensive coordinator who, that's the first time he's ever had to handle a big lead. And, that prevent defense prevents you from winning games. I mean, lucky we came out with the victory. But just the NFC West as a whole, and the AFC West, not to, disrespect your guys' undefeated division. The NFC West is loaded. We've talked about it before. It might be the best division of football. The Rams looked great. The Cardinals in Tennessee looked great. Seattle in Indianapolis looked great. Every NFC team, they look like they can be that team out of the NFC. Yes, Tampa's going to Tampa. We know how good they're going to be, but what a first week, man. Not just the NFC and AFC, but just all these other teams, Houston went and ruined Urban Meyer's, rookie campaign as a coach.
And they were the only AFC South team to win. Imagine that.
The only AFC South. You took the words right out of my mouth. So, Belichick losing a home opener. I mean, hey, how often do you say that? So a lot of crazy storylines, bro.
The Packers,
I did see the ratings.
My Super Bowl pick from last week. The Packers just Can I cancel that now? Can I annul that? That's like, oh, I just got married to you. Oh, never mind. A week later, I'm gonna have an annulment. Can I annul that, please? Holy crap! Them and Tennessee. Oh.
You know what? I don't know why I was so shy to play that game. I actually did take the Saints plus the 4, even though I knew they were playing in Jacksonville. Couple things that come into a handicap since we are the Comic Bookies podcast. Let me just spit a little bit of game for you guys, or those that don't understand. This is something that I always, take into consideration. The game is to be sold, not to be told, but I'm going to be telling it right now because I love the fans and I love my brothers right here. So, but real talk. So, Jameis Winston, right? going back to Florida. He's obviously from Florida. He's not from Jacksonville, but you figure, okay, he gets to go back to open up the season, kind of, a rebirth to his career, if you will, right? Drew Brees retired. He gets to start down there in New Orleans, goes back to Florida, and I know that Jameis wants to kind of prove himself to be like a better quarterback, which I don't think he's a horrible quarterback. Does he make bad decisions at times? Yeah. In the past, can he work on it? Yes. But I'd say with Jameis Winston going back to Florida, then you think about the situation in New Orleans with the hurricane and how, I don't even know if some people probably still don't even have power down there. If we got fans in New Orleans, hopefully you guys and your family are safe. Let us know. But, you take that into consideration. And then with the whole, the Aaron Rodgers, you don't know how he wants to play. I don't think he wants to be in Green Bay. How hard is he really going to fight for this team? And then the biggest thing is a NFC team, or not just an NFC team, but a North team that usually plays in cold weather going down to that humidity. I mean, there was so many factors, plus like the home dog, even though they weren't technically playing at home. But like when I handicap, that's just like things that I like look for. Sometimes it's not so much about the variables that goes in like between the sidelines, in the end zones. It's kind of more, there's always more to it. Psychology, circadian rhythm, personalities of players and stuff. And it's just a lot of that goes into handicapping. And I wish I would have just upped the ante a little bit more, but kind of hard to do that also on Jameis Winston's first game as a starting quarterback. So I took it a little bit light, but those are just things to like look for if you guys are out there trying to put a little bit of your hard-earned taxed money on some of these games on Sunday afternoon.
All right.
Sorry for the rant.
You're good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we always appreciate, for those coming in as a first-time listener or first-time, gambler. They try to seek out different avenues of info and tips and stuff, and like right there, that's I think as good as gold when you're trying to determine which way you're going to go in a bet.
Money.
And this is one other thing. When we first started the podcast, I think I used to mention it a lot. I said, people might start listening to us that never bet on a game or something, but as it's getting more popular in all these states, back 125 episodes ago, they just redid that PASPA law or whatever, where like they could actually leave it up to each state to see if they wanted to make it legal or not. It wasn't like so federally like whatever handled when we started the podcast. And I was always saying, like, I think more people are going to start doing it as like your brother in Arizona. They just like FanDuel, I think like all of them, you can do like the gambling down there. So as more and more states open, I mean, some of our fans might be like, yeah, I like football. Yeah, I never gambled, but like, hey, my state, I'll throw like $20 on a game or something, So it's just kind of cool that we still kind of keep it as part of our pedigree in the podcast and everything. But moving on, man, Tennessee looked horrible. Cleveland probably could have won. Pittsburgh, a lot of people were fine. They were going against them. A lot of people are on these Bills team, but Pittsburgh showed up and showed out. In Buffalo getting the win. Miami squeaked one out against Mac Jones. Those two Bama quarterbacks going against each other. Man, so many games, dude. You guys just whatever you guys want to talk about, go.
I mean, to kind of go with what we used to do and just kind of run down like most of the games, I kind of wanted to do. I texted you guys about it, but now we let the fans know. Aside from week 1, we're going to have a comic bookie super contest. Now, Vegas has a bunch of these. You enter, you put in like $100 or $10 or $1,000, and then you play against hundreds of other people, and then you just pick like 3 or 4 games, and whoever has like the most wins at the end of the season wins. Like Vegas has one. What, Mark? You put in like $500 or $1,000, and you win like over $1 million.
They have all types of them.
So I feel like we should do one, and then of course the loser buys. We go out to a nice steak dinner or something, and the loser buys. So, Mark, what do you say? Like
Cattleman's,
right? Cattleman's, fancy, or Black Angus, something like Outback, or hey, hell, House of Prime Rib. Let's do that one. But yeah, so we'll go 3 or 4 games a week, Mark. It's okay to overlap. We won't tell anybody the games, what we're thinking of, and then on the podcast we'll go ahead and announce who we're taking, the spread. We'll kind of based off of ESPN's number maybe, or whatever numbers you're looking at, Mark. But I mean, that's that can be kind of our analysis for the week. Is not really running through every single game, but like our top 3 or 4 games and like why. and then we'll come back the next week saying, oh, how did we do, and we'll keep track throughout the season.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
it.
Kind of mix our analysis in with like the games, why we like it. Like kind of our analysis is our handicap in a way, you know.
Exactly.
But
And we're actually this season, our third like full football season doing the podcast. We're actually putting our money where our mouths are. You know, we're not just saying, hey, if I were to bet on this, you know, now we have something to look forward to. We're actually going to, you know, have a nice steak dinner on one of us. So whoever wants to go first, you don't have to throw out all 4 games out, but let's just, you know, all 3 of us give us your top 4 games, spread, and why.
yeah, you know what's funny? I haven't even really looked at the games.
I mean,
yet
it's early.
week,
You know, it's early because it's Tuesday. You know, like we haven't even gotten to because things change.
The biggest
Like,
thing.
You know, yeah.
Like my football weekend literally ended like 24 hours ago with the Raiders, you
I know.
being the final game. So it's like I've been so busy at work, I didn't even really look at the games. But I mean, I'm looking at them right now. Like if you want to go first, if you have a little bit of something,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try to look at a couple that I like here.
I mean,
kind of.
I was going through them just like while you and Sean were talking. I think one of them I have to take, and it's okay if all 3 of us pick this game or whatnot. But what was it? Where was it? I am going to take. I don't care where they're traveling to. I don't care. They can't go 0-2. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're going to be a team that's probably going to end up in the AFC Championship, in my opinion. I have to go Buffalo, and ESPN has it at -3.5. Buffalo's going to go down to Miami. They know that team. It's a division game. Even though it's in Florida, I know the whole thing. Division game. I know it might be close, but they're going to come back. They're pissed off as hell, losing at home to Pittsburgh. The Buffalo Bills will go down and cover a 3.5-point spread. I'm taking the Bills and giving the points.
I like that. And I think I'll stay with a division game, and I'm not going to let a close game become misleading and make people think that Detroit's good all of a sudden, because I think they're going to get pounded Monday night in Green Bay.
Okay, Sean with the Packers. -10.
You're going with the -10.5, huh, Sean?
-10.5.
-10?
Okay.
Wow,
well,
that's a hefty number to throw.
Well, Mark, I can't just take all of the, I can't just steal like your analysis. So you are next.
Man,
you know what? You know what? It's fine because all these numbers may change and stuff. You're like, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't have picked that game on Saturday if I would have known. But then again, all we're playing for is a whole season-long thing, and all we're doing is a steak dinner. It's not like we have like hundreds or thousands of dollars riding on it or week to week. It's just something for fun. But you know what? Let's do it.
Very true.
Man, I'm gonna have to go. You know who looked horrible? Atlanta looked horrible.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
that is.
Look, I'm not the type of person to really drop 12.5 points in a divisional game, because you can get a backdoor cover. But man, I don't know how Atlanta. I mean, if Tampa Bay looks like they looked against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys probably should have won that game if they didn't miss so many damn field goals on opening Thursday night. But let me go with Tampa Bay, man. I guess it's 12.5 right now. I just don't trust Matt Ryan at all. Guy looks slow as hell out there. They don't really have anyone that can catch it. Pitts, he's still young, obviously a rookie. I just don't like it, man. I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay to get like a big win here, man, against Atlanta. Atlanta having to go on the road. So that'll probably be like my first pick. I don't know, it'll be my top pick because I'm still looking through here, but I like that.
Well, breaking news from our insider, my brother down from Arizona. It looks like defensive lineman Yannick Ngakoue has suffered a possible long-term injury. So what I was just saying about if he could stay healthy and then those guys can get to the quarterback. So now we have to depend on Clelin Ferrell, and and if we lost McCoy for a long term, so what I just said about them getting to the quarterback just kind of went out the window because they'll just double team Crosby on every play. So yeah, screw my life. So going back to the picks. Denver is not that good of a team. I'm sorry. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually embrace the Florida weather in this one. I'm going to take Jacksonville at home to cover a 6 point.
I was actually liking that
6
one
point
also.
spread. Denver's not that good, so I'm taking the Jaguars at home. Covering
Teddy
6.
Bridgewater, though.
I know.
His record.
I know.
As a starter on the road, he's like 25-3 or
Not this
something
week.
on the road as a
He
starter.
gets the job done.
Against the spread. So, man, he's a money-making machine for us bettors over there at the window. But I was
let the Broncos win by 7. Whoop-de-doo.
I mean, if the guys from South Central Los Angeles, fly over to Jacksonville and try to make an offer for Urban Meyer, I don't know how much his head's going to be in the game.
Come on,
week,
Watts.
so.
Come on, Watts. Sean or Mark, you're next.
I do have a game, and this is a game I've been looking at since both of them came out victorious last week. And I think while everyone's high on New Orleans, I'm even higher on Carolina.
Ooh.
And I think the home dog Carolina Panthers are going to outright win the New Orleans Saints.
Carolina plus 3.5. Okay. Mark, you're up.
You know what? As much as you like Carolina, I just don't really, I don't like Darnold that much, man, because he took over. They did cover the spread against the Jets, but speaking of the Jets, I actually like the way the quarterback played from BYU, Zach Wilson. So you talk about getting 6 points with the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. I'm gonna take the 6 with the New York Jets at home going against Mac Jones.
So I'll take your 6. I see 5.5, but I'll give you your 6 for the Jets. So New York Jets plus 6. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's go. Sorry, Raider Nation. Sorry, that was a huge win for you guys, a huge morale booster. But after that injury that I just saw right now, I'm sorry. Najee Harris for 143 yards on the ground. Pittsburgh minus 5.5. Sorry, on the road, nah, not gonna happen. Sorry.
I love that, man. I love how it's just in and out. The quickest pick that he did. All it is
my team.
One
that's
injury.
all it took.
Ben Roethlisberger, we know how it is. We played this team so many damn times. It's like Portugal playing Germany. Just so damn hard to beat them, right? But
what's gonna happen?
You guys got 2 picks left.
We're going 4 picks total per person. Okay, I'm actually gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals going into Chicago. I love me some Cincy this year. I love them coming up victorious last week versus the Minnesota Vikings. And I think they're going to go in Chicago and knock off the Red Rifle and the Chicago Bears.
Okay, Cincinnati plus 3. Mark, you got 2 more.
There's a lot of home dogs this week, it looks like. We can't pick any of the same teams. They all have to be.
Like now thinking about it, I say no. Like if it's been taken, sorry.
Okay.
I mean, there's technically 32 teams, so technically you can go. We're only picking 12
That's
teams.
going to be kind of like the easy way down the road if we're going to like try to wash games. We'll pick the same games. So yeah, I'm with you on that. We shouldn't be able to pick the same games.
Mark, if you weren't thinking about the same game, I'd like to jump in and give my last pick.
Oh, we had to go in order.
Mark, go ahead. Say your pick if you already have it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. I'll
Sean,
let you have it.
We're gonna go head to head on one this week. I'm taking the Bears at home against the Bengals. Sorry, that was also just like the Raiders with a good win. Cincinnati in overtime with a good win, but they're not going on the road and winning in Chicago. So I'm taking the Chicago Bears minus 3.
Nice. I like that. I'll let Mark get his in before I make my final pick.
Get 1 more or 2 more.
I'll go with I think they can play a little bit better than they did. I think that playing Bridgewater, they played Herbert. I think that playing Herbert's, he's a pretty good little young quarterback, man. I think that football team still has a good defense. I think that Fitzmagic still might have a little bit of magic. They're at home.
Hurt, isn't he?
New York, huh?
Fitzpatrick's hurt.
Fitzmagic's out.
Yeah, he did get hurt.
Yeah,
that's right.
Him.
So who replaced him?
Henkel.
Like Heineken?
Heineken or
Henke
or Henkel.
Okay, yeah. Let me retract that. I forgot that he got hurt. I wasn't watching that game. Sorry. I'll take that one back. So who do I have? I got Tampa Bay.
And
I
the
got
Jets. Don't tell me you're
Jets.
picking 2 New York teams. Jesus Christ.
No. I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to pick. Let's go with the Chiefs on the road, -4. I think they had their scare.
You're lucky. Yeah, you took my pick. That's a
Oh,
good one.
nice.
I think they had their scare. I
KC
think
minus
that,
3.5.
I
like
just
that.
think that with the injuries that Baltimore has, I think that, Kansas City is going to play them pretty damn tough. Hate laying 4 on the road, but that's what I'm going to have to do. Especially, I'm going to have to look at these picks earlier next time. I have no edge on you guys. I got no edge. I was just thrown into the lion's den trying to pick these.
Okay, so if you guys want some insider information, our buddy and listener Aaron is saying that Cowboys +3 against the Chargers. Take it to the bank. So if you guys want to take that, give him the credit. That's what he's saying.
That's funny that I was actually looking at that, and I actually kind of like the Chargers. I did actually kind of like the Chargers. That line stinks to me. Everyone's going to be like, look at how Dallas once did. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. They did so good. They almost won. They missed the field goals. Look at the Chargers. They only won because Fitzmagic is old and got hurt, and they're not that good. But why are they favorites? You know what I mean? Just be wary of those lines a couple times. You know what I mean?
All right, Sean, you're next. Last pick.
And you already know how big, Dallas Cowboys is going to be they're one of the most public teams. They're going to be smashed in the books with Dallas money. You give Dallas +3 when they look that good against Tampa. Vegas likes to take that money.
I think this week we're going to show the second-year pro a thing or two about what it's like to be in the NFL and the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to go eagle hunting. And we're gonna come up victorious this weekend.
Oh, hey! As long as Devontae goes off, I don't care. So, Sean, San Francisco 49ers -3.5.
The Eagles looked good too.
They played Atlanta.
They play versus college team.
They played
what I'm saying.
at Atlanta State.
Yeah,
South Georgia.
I kind of did like the Eagles, but I think that the 49ers.
He said Atlanta State.
South Georgia.
South Georgia University.
But
yeah, the Eagles. I mean, they
Georgia A&M.
Sorry, Mark. We're done.
No, never mind. The Eagles played good though, but yeah, I think that San Francisco giving up a lot of those points. I think that they kind of go back to the drawing board, and I don't know how fair the Eagles are going to be able to compare it against them. But if Jalen Hurts performs good and they come out with a win, people are going to start looking at this Eagles team like, okay, making right decisions there in the front office, huh?
All right, Mark, you got one more pick, bud.
Do I? Jesus.
That's one,
and then how we'll do it next week is whoever was worst gets the first pick, and then up to whoever did best.
Yeah, I like that. Nice.
I'm gonna take Kyler Murray.
Ooh.
There it is.
That was my 5th pick. If we had 5 picks, I do like them.
That was a close one too for me.
I do like them, especially in fantasy. Number 1 scorer this week.
I don't like the hook. I don't like giving up the hook.
I know,
but I just didn't. What's his name get hurt also, or am I mistaken? Who? The quarterback for the Vikings. What the hell's his name?
No, he's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they just lost.
You guys got that red zone. I know they give you, and damn, you guys are fantasy players. That's the problem. The fantasy players know all the damn injuries, man.
For sure.
Especially if it's a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. So there you have it, folks. You know what?
That was fun. That was fun.
Just for fun, if any fan is paying attention, if they listen to this, and if they want to get in on the action, just shoot us over a DM or an email or whatever every single week. Give us your 4 picks, and then we can
Aaron.
And then we can go ahead and get you in on the contest. So Aaron, Joe, any guys who listen to us, consistently, please shoot us over 4 picks in the spreads via ESPN.com, over the next day or two, and then we'll have you punched into the contest. But all right, fellas. So sticking with football.
Buy you dinner if you.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know, right? Even out the costs, But NCAA football, so another week is in the books. They're always a week ahead. I think bigger news, just basically, USC fires their head coach, Clay Helton. I think it's an idiotic decision. I think they should have done it, months and months ago, and they should have gotten, ready for the new season with a new head coach and not have to oh shoot, now we have to go under our offensive coordinator for an interim job. It's just stupid what they're doing. I've liked USC since 1998, since Carson Palmer was winning Heisman trophies over there, so it's sad to see the state of USC, the state of Texas, even though I don't like, Texas and what Vince Young did to USC, but Florida State, I was telling you guys the other day, why are those three teams among other teams so bad recently? They should be top 10 to 12 every single year with the prestige of those schools and the programs.
I mean, I think a lot of it how much of it do you think has to do with they're sitting there looking at their cross city rivals, in UCLA, and how Chip started the season so far with the 2 wins, beating LSU, obviously, and they're looking like a damn good team, and now USC does not want to be number 2 in the city of angels, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's happened before, Yeah,
but I mean, yeah, they want to get back to those glory days, but I mean, it's tough. They lose a lot of talent. A lot of these colleges, they're building these beautiful arenas, these beautiful, locker rooms and facilities and whatnot. They give these kids these tours, and a lot of these kids, they're going to Bama. A lot of these California boys, we breed a lot of good football players in this state. A lot of them leave. We're fortunately to keep a lot of them as well. But a lot of them do go away, play Michigan and play just a bunch of other states, a bigger score, more prominent schools in football and whatnot. So it kind of sucks, but that's what it is. But
yeah, I mean,
even with that though, I mean, you look at the players on USC, they got good players. You have no reason to lose versus a Stanford. I know they're a conference rival, but especially this year, Stanford, they're not that good of a team, in my opinion. And then adding to what Mike said, you knew you were going to get rid of Helton at some point. Yeah, it was an ugly loss for Stanford, so that was the cherry on top. But if you knew you were going to do that, you might as well do it before the season started. That's just not fair to the kids. These aren't even professional. These are kids. You go there with the intention of playing under this coach who recruited me, who probably did the visit and everything, and now you're going to go in a whole new direction. So, I mean, yeah, it's business, but to what Mike said, man, seeing some of these big universities, the ones that we're so huge on, playing like shit, really. Mm-hmm. FSU, Florida State, I mean, they lost versus Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State did the straight flag plant in the middle of Seminole country.
Damn.
Come on now. Texas, I mean, you guys asked for it moving to the SEC, but come on now, man. You guys, it's embarrassing.
Both schools from Michigan State, they haven't been dog doo-doo in the last 3-4 years.
They haven't won nothing. That's the thing. They maybe had they had a couple of good games, or there's a big win, but it's they haven't actually won anything. I don't know. It's
kind of cool though. College football, I kind of like that aspect that the little guy can come and kind of beat the big guy sometimes. Yeah. It's what makes the sport fun, man. I really do enjoy it. But when
it's your team and it's on a consistent basis, USC is maybe the 5th best team in the conference.
Yeah.
Oregon, Arizona State, UCLA, they're gonna lose to freaking. Watch, they'll lose to Cal, Mark. I'm sorry. The Cal Bears are 0-2, but watch, they'll probably lose to them or the Huskies 0-2 Washington. Watch, I don't know.
Speaking of Oregon, hey, they're making the Pac-12 happy right now. They're making us proud. They went into, obviously, Buckeye country and got that huge victory. Good for the Ducks, man. They're looking really good.
Yeah, they went in there as a 12 and beat number 3, so it was pretty good for them. The luck of that.
They went all the way up to number 4.
The Ducks did?
Number 4
right now?
So right now, season ends. Nice. They're in the playoffs. So any of these games that you guys are looking forward to before we move on? You got...
And they didn't have their, what's it called either.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the Thibodeau, which is supposed to be the best defensive player in the nation right now.
Yeah.
Notre Dame got a scare last week as well. Toledo almost got him. The beginning of these seasons, man, these kids are getting back on campus, whatever, getting used to everything. But I think we'll see the cream rise to the top as we always do. But
yeah, I mean, so what do you guys think? I mean, well, Oregon, they got a tough test at home against Stony Brook. I had no idea that was a freaking school, but I mean, is there anything better than Alabama visiting Gainesville in Florida? I mean, I don't think so. As far as the top, 25 teams, there's no other, ranked opponents facing another ranked opponent this week. What say you guys? Are there any other intriguing matchups? I mean, like, do you look at something like, Georgia better watch out for 2-0 South Carolina, at least to cover maybe 32 points? You never know. So, I mean, Auburn is at Penn State, actually, 22 visiting 10.
I've seen that game. You
have that one. Arizona State, 19 visiting 23 BYU. That's it as far as, two ranked opponents playing each other.
And I know I get a little bit more intrigued for college than you guys do. So I actually do enjoy some of these like the Fresno State at UCLA. I think that could be kind of fun. Obviously I don't think Fresno State can win, but like games like that, like Nevada, how they beat Cal as well. Not that Cal is no powerhouse, but I like to see Nevada, go on the road and play. I like to see, some of these smaller colleges as well, like the West Coast Conference and the MAC and all these, so it's cool. I just think that the beginning, I hate how they do week 1 to pull you in and then they give you these crappy, not subpar matches.
They're crappy. They're crappy.
And they do, why they do it. It's the same reason why NASCAR has their race on Saturday instead of Sunday. It's the same reason why, these all focus kind of for football is on NFL week 1, so they just throw in like these whatever games for,
or like how the Daytona 500 is the first race of the year. So what's up to Joe? He says, what's up, comic bookies? And Aaron, I agree with you. Don't let my brother hear you, but Notre Dame are frauds, especially when it comes to winning big games and going into the playoffs and winning. I mean, not good.
They prove it time and time again. They are one of the biggest frauds in college football.
Yep, they disappear faster than what's his name's girlfriend.
Manti
Te'o's girlfriend, so... but yeah.
So are you saying USC could lose at Washington State this week?
They probably will.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes, they can.
Are they not even ranked anymore?
Slovis, huh?
You got to remember, these are kids. And I know we've talked about different aspects of the mentals in sports, and these are kids. I mean, I'm 0-2. I'm at USC. We just lost for Stanford. You are going to have some of those kids that just throw in the freaking towel. They're going through the motion. Yes, you're going to have some kids that, hey, we got to step it up. But it's the reality, bro. You're going to have some of these kids that are just like, man, we just suck. Our coach got fired, blah, blah, blah. And, it's one of those trap games. Like USC's going to come out firing, beat Washington State. You know what? Don't be surprised if they lose again, man.
Yeah.
Auburn at Happy Valley is definitely going to be the biggest game. So stay tuned
number
to
8,
that
Cincinnati, only a 4-point favorite. Visit Bloomington. That's something to look at, too. Something to look at.
Only?
I mean, Indiana, are they close to being top 25? Or is it just because,
No, I mean, they've been good in the last couple of seasons. I don't think they're doing as good this season, but Cincinnati's supposed to be a pretty decent team.
But I do
8.
like seeing all of these different teams playing. Like I'm not used to seeing Auburn versus Penn State. I'm not used to seeing Michigan State versus Miami,
That's a fun game.
It's really cool. Like, obviously Alabama, Florida, obviously. But, I mean, those two matchups are pretty cool. Of course, Oregon, Stony Brook for the 4th time. I don't know how many times I have to say that.
We got Herman Boone and the Virginia Tech Hokies versus West Virginia.
What about Colorado? What about Colorado also against A&M? They hung in there last week.
That's right. So,
I mean,
plenty of good games to get into in college.
Pac-12 South. Besides, it's weird. They're they feast or famine, huh?
You know what?
Pac-12.
I'm going to give Pac-12, USC a shout out though. Me and my wife just finished that Peyton Manning and Cooper. Is that his name? Right? Cooper Manning, the third brother.
Yeah, it is Cooper.
So Cooper and Peyton hosted a college bowl, which they had a dozen schools come, 3 kids per team, and they had it was like a trivia. right? And USC played Columbia in the finals. Columbia came out on top by a handful of points or whatever, but you know what? Go USC, fight on, man. Getting second place in a College Bowl. It's the only bowl game that you'll be playing in this year, but congratulations to them.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah, not the toilet bowl, but that's it for college football. That's week 3. A couple good games, but overall not as good as what you would hope for. But hopefully hopefully as you watch those games, they turn into good games. So we'll see. Going into
it's a good way to put it, Mike. I like that. Thanks.
So hopefully, something like New Mexico, Texas A&M, what the hell? And all of a sudden, oh my God, New Mexico is within 10 of Texas A&M going into the fourth quarter, or something like that, And it's always something to look forward to when you're a bettor. It's like you look at those games that aren't going to be. You know what? No one's looking at Georgia Southern versus Arkansas, but Georgia Southern, they got this quarterback and the defense is top 5 and against the run or blah, blah, blah. Just for example, I think they can cover a 23.5-point spread, something like that. College football, I think is, if you're not a fan of a top 5 team, top 10 team, turn into a gambler and it'll be way more interesting than any other sport.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have these schools also like Louisiana Lafayette. You have like a lot of those players that want to stay in state or whatnot. There's good players that don't make it to LSU. They just go down to like a smaller school within the state, So some of these smaller conferences, with good coaches, a lot of these coaches move up to bigger conferences, but they start building like good programs like PJ Fleck before he went to Minnesota at Western Michigan. Mm-hmm. Why do you think he's at Minnesota right now, right? Because of what he did. Row the boat, remember?
And then for a few years, you had not Texas and like maybe Texas A&M, which are the two schools you probably would think of, but you had TCU, Baylor, Texas Tech, those guys. When Michael Crabtree was there, you had all those good players. What's his name? Robert Griffin III was at Baylor. You had all those good years of those 3 smaller schools in Texas. Exactly. Baker went to Oklahoma, but you know what I mean.
No, he was at Texas Tech in the beginning.
That's right.
He transferred.
That's right.
He played 1 year there, right?
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I think he played 1 or 2 years at Texas Tech.
I think you're right. Good. Okay, cool. So I know. So let's get into MLB. Just really final push. We're coming up on time here, but let's do a final push for the Major League Baseball. The Giants, like we said earlier, have clinched at least a wild card spot. They're still battling the Dodgers. Not surprising. What are they? Are they still up 2.5? I think they've won like 8 in a row though. So it's just crazy how they go on these long streaks and they're only 3. Okay. Okay,
it'll be 2.5 after tonight because the Dodgers are up on Arizona. Giants just won their game.
Yeah, so it looks like Milwaukee's going to win the Central. The Braves are only 4.5 over the Phillies, so anything can happen in the last couple weeks. Houston's got a pretty good hold over the West. Chicago White Sox in the Central, and Tampa Bay is going to win the East. But yeah, let's look at the wild card spots too. Excuse me. You have the Toronto Blue Jays. So like we said, look at this. You have 4 out of the 5 teams that are going to possibly make the playoffs. You have the Rays win the division, and then you have the Blue Jays, Yankees tied, and the Red Sox are a half game out. Mariners 2.5 games out of the final wild card spot, where the A's are 3.5 games out of the wild card spot. And then, of course, the Dodgers, who are 16.5 games above the third place team. They're with the Cardinals. Anybody's game. Cardinals, Reds only a half game back. Padres back a game. Phillies back 3 games. And the Mets are behind 4 games. So one of those 2 teams are going to play either the Giants or the Dodgers in. Did they move it back to 1 game, or is it a 3-game series this year?
The 3-game series now.
Cool. I'm hoping they keep it that way. I like that last year. Gave the A's an actual chance last year when they beat the White Sox. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you guys, predictions to end the season. Sean, are the Giants holding on to the West? Are the A's going to sneak in? Like, what can we say about not only our local teams but other teams?
I think it's crazy that the 2 best records in baseball are in the NFC, the NL West. That's very crazy. The Dodgers are still built for the playoffs. They got Kershaw back. Their pitching is outstanding. I mean, I'm loving what the Giants are doing. It's obviously not a fluke. And they can go right into the playoffs and keep doing what they're doing. But unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers do go out and do what I think everyone in baseball think the Dodgers are going to do, especially with that stellar bullpen. It is just freaking crazy to me, though, that there are 3 teams, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place in this AL East, all with 81 wins. All 3 of them. That's unbelievable. You got 4 teams over 80 wins. there's some divisions with barely one 80-win team. The NL East doesn't even have an 80-win team. So
Damn.
that is crazy.
Damn. Mark, what say you for the last couple weeks of the MLB season?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. With Sean saying what he said about the Dodgers, and I'm looking here, Vegas actually still has the Dodgers, favorite to win the World Series.
Of course. Yeah.
They don't. It's just they're. I wanted to see. Obviously, the Giants have moved up the rankings a lot, and I actually thought the Giants were going to be neck and neck, but you get about 5-1 on the Giants and about 3.5-1 on the Dodgers that I'm seeing right here. So, man, still making the Dodgers pretty hefty favorites.
I mean, and then with how the seeding is, it sucks that we're not going to get a Giants Dodgers, NLCS, because the Dodgers or the Giants are going to get the number 1 seed, and then when it comes into the DS, they're going to play the wild card winner. So
95 wins. Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Our guy, Casey Pratt had the wrong Bay Area team winning 100 games.
I know, crazy. So, obviously, as everyone should know, we're back week to week. So this week is Tuesday. Next week we're on Wednesday. So as the season dwindles down for the last 2 weeks, we'll go ahead and give an update in a couple weeks and see how these divisions have wrapped up. But let's end sports with NASCAR. So NASCAR is heading into its final race of the round of 16, Bristol, Tennessee. 2 JGR cars won the first 2 races, Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. So they have punched their ticket into the round of 12, while Kyle Larson on points has also punched his ticket into the round of 12. Bristol. For my boy, Hendrick Motorsports, number 5 racer Kyle Larson, you have 5 top 10 finishes in the last 6 races there. Including the, that was 2019. Oh, they actually don't have the 2020. Oh, you know what? Because it's a dirt race. So I'm thinking 2, 4, 6 races out of 7, a top 10 finish for Kyle Larson. Oh, no, he crashed, I think, in that race, didn't he? In that Bristol dirt race. I think he crashed. So anyways, what do you guys say about this race? It's back on pavement. It's at night. It's a different surface, a different weather, with it being, under the lights. This is one race that I've always wanted to go to ever since I started watching NASCAR, 5-6 years ago,
You'll be able to go to it in LA next year, 2022.
I know, right?
There it is at the
I know.
Coliseum.
They even had like a
the little rendering
of the track. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then they might as well have shown the view from up top.
Tell the fans real quick before we talk about it. Tell the fans real quick what the news is, man. If they don't know.
Next year, the Clash race is going to be not at Daytona, but is going to be at the LA Coliseum. So if you can picture that, I mean, I know the Trojans and, it used to be the Raiders, used to be the Rams. They played on a football field surrounded by an actual track, for track and field. They've hosted, 2 Olympics, going to be 3, and then
2.
Also the first Super Bowl.
Super Bowls.
Yeah, a couple of Super Bowls. So,
and you're a mighty Trojans. They've been playing there since 1923. So they're coming up on 100 years of playing at the LA Coliseum. Fight on.
Whatever.
That's why they need that new coach so they can do the century. They can't
not
bring
win a championship century
year with Clay Helton.
I know, right? So how they're going to do it, I don't know. We kind of, is it going to be dirt? Is it going to be how are they going to do it? Are they going to have to push seats? They're going to have to get rid of some rows of seats, and then they're only going to have an X amount of time to do it. Obviously, NASCAR isn't going to force USC to play somewhere else during the fall. Once USC wraps up their season in late November, early December, that gives you 2.5 months to do this. So it's going to be crazy to see what they do. It just really broke news. It broke today, so we'll see what news, how it progresses in the next couple weeks, and of course, we'll be the first to tell you if you don't pay attention to NASCAR on Instagram. So, yeah. Keep it locked and loaded here on the Bookies podcast for all of your news on NASCAR and other sports. So what do you guys think of this weekend's race? You figure, well, you know what? Mark, you carry those points over the next round, right? So there's no reason why Truex, Hamlin, and Larson shouldn't try for a win. It's not like, it's okay, we're just going to start, from scratch and 0 going into the next round. You actually carry over. So.
Oh, come on. These dudes, man, you can put them in shopping carts. They always try for a win. That's just in their competitive, nature, really. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's going to be – I'm not looking at the actual standings right now, but if you are, you can probably kind of give me a rundown of who's going to be kind of points racing and who's going to be, whoever's on the bubble. I think Wasn't Kurt Busch on the bubble?
Kurt Busch. There's two racers like
that
12th
crash?
is 12th and 13th is like they're tied. That's what I think it is.
Okay.
Byron's one of the ones down
Like
there.
one-
McDowell's one of the ones down there. Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now for you,
McDowell,
sir.
he's
Huh?
I knew ever since McDowell crossed the checkered flag at Daytona in February.
On the bubble right now, we have Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, McDowell.
So I have Bowman in 12th and Kurt Busch at 13th, both with 2,053 points. So there's
53.
0. So technically right now the season ended. Kurt Busch, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, and Michael McDowell are out. Yeah, I think
Say that again.
Kurt Busch, Tyler
Busch.
Reddick, William Byron, and Michael McDowell are out if the season ended today. So
those guys, especially Reddick and Busch,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have to be and Bowman in that other position.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to be really, really cautious, but at the same time, they're gonna have to go for it. That's what makes
Yeah.
these races so
But-
fun.
And you have a bunch of drivers who are within like 10 points of Kurt Busch. You have obviously tied at 2053, and then just 3 points ahead of that is Eric Almirola. Then five more points is Kyle Busch at 2061. He's only 8 points ahead of Kurt Busch, his brother. And then 13 points ahead of him is Brad Keselowski. So if any of those guys DNF and Kurt Busch has a decent showing, or even Reddick or whatever,
Yeah.
those guys are out. This is going to be a very, very interesting end of the round of 16 for sure.
And
Look
that's
at
what-
young. Go ahead.
you go ahead. Look
Look
at
at young Christopher Bell, though, in 8th right now, just chilling with 2,070 points, right behind Chase with 2,072. The young guns are here, bro. Unbelievable. You look at it, man. It's crazy.
Well, that organization had them lined up in that third stage down there at Richmond last weekend, going 1, 2, 3, 4 for a long time in that third stage. I was like, man, they figured out this track, even with Kyle Busch. Thank the Lord that he had that speeding penalty, because I had Logano over him,
Oh, yeah.
and then he was like in 3rd or 4th, and then he had that speeding penalty, and I was like, yes. But you win some, you lose some, but I'll take that one. But Kyle Busch is actually the favorite, guys, for the Bass Pro Shops night race down there in Bristol, Tennessee, 4-1. Kyle Larson right behind him, 4.5-1. Love that guy on these types of tracks. He knows that he's in on points, so he'll try. Obviously, records or checkers for him probably. Still want to get good points though. You don't want to, you want to have confidence and whatnot. Denny Hamlin turning up 6-1. Chase Elliott 8-1. My guy, first guy in double digits at 10-1. Logano runs really good. Obviously, he won the dirt track or the dirt race there a couple of months ago. Expect him to do good as well. Just feel like the Fords have been a little bit behind. As you can see, there's a lot of them stacked up right here with Keselowski, Harvick, and Blaney about 11, 12-1. I don't know why Truex is 14-1, because I'd actually have Truex's odds above a lot of these guys here. Because with the Fords, because the Fords are good.
Run well here, dude.
Yeah,
Truex?
there's numbers
He has 30
Look at
career
his
races,
numbers.
and his average finish is 20th. Does not race well here.
Yeah,
4
he-
DNFs.
2 top 5s and 3 top 10s
I
with
could
4
have sworn
DNFs.
he did pretty good at this track.
Not
The
too
one you
good.
want to look for is Kyle Busch. 8 career wins. It's actually funny, too, because I like the numbers of the average career finish. You see, like, Daytona. Like, no one really has, like, an average career finish. Like Sean, what was it, Richmond? Or was it the race before where, like, Denny Hamlin or someone had, like, a career finish of, like, 6th? But no one has a career top 10 finish of any active driver at Bristol. Chase Elliott being the most at just over 12th place. So, even though Kyle Busch has 8 career wins, 2 over the last 6, it's going to be very, very interesting.
Believe it or not, Tyler Reddick is a pretty good long shot. With him trying to get to the transfer spot and everything, 30-1, he's good. He rides that high line, kind of like Larson, so. I mean, that'd be like a long shot I'd be looking at. Even like a Stenhouse that runs pretty decent there at 80-1. Hey, just throw a couple of dollars on these dudes. You never know if it's like a wreck fest or something.
I'm going to tell you that
I'd say
the majority of the race is going to be Busch, Hamlin, Chase, Logano, Larson. The majority of the race is going to be them in the top 5 to top 8. Hands
it's just
down.
like I said in college football, this cream rises to the top when it like counts.
Yeah.
Count
Always
Bell
does.
in there too. Count Sean's Christopher Bell in there also, man. At a 22-1, I'll admit he has been running pretty good, and he's that dirt tracker from Norman, Oklahoma as well. So he likes to get up on that high line like Larson and Reddick. So I think it's going to be fun. Obviously, Bristol under the lights, one of my favorite races, used to be the Irwin Tools night race. But here it is, Bass Pro Shops, guys, night race, Bristol, Tennessee. It's going to be fun, and you're going to be there watching it, and you're going to love it, and you're going to be here next week to listen to us talk about it and make our picks.
Yes, sir. Yes,
There
sir.
it is.
For Vegas.
Hell yeah, that's right, for Vegas, because we will be in the house recording next Wednesday night. You'll hear the episode Thursday morning, right before myself and Sean jump on a plane to Sin City. But this has been the Comic Bookies podcast so far. That is NASCAR, and that is the sports. We're going to take a quick break to grab another drink and to, maybe to sit down because I've been standing for the last hour and a half. But stay tuned. Comic Books is next, along with some entertainment. And enjoy this ad for a new book on Kickstarter. Go check it out. Enjoy this ad. We'll see you soon in a second.
BRB.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Comic Bookies podcast. We're out here in Tracy, California. In just a few short months, you can grab yourself a nice, warm crumble cookie. But like every week, we are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Please subscribe to the YouTube and Twitch channels to watch our live streams or download us wherever you listen to podcasts: iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio.com, Amazon Prime Music. Wherever you listen, please download. Give us a like, give us 5 stars, give us a review, give us a rating, whatever. It goes a long way for us. Gentlemen, let's get into some comic books now. So, like I've been saying for the past couple weeks, with being out here, not being able to physically go into the shop, and of course, like this week, DC books are delayed, so books won't even be available for me to get picked and sent out until Friday. So we're probably going to be a week late from here on out. But yeah, so what did you guys like? So before we do that, let's get into the new comic books for tomorrow.
Don't forget again. No,
don't worry. I got them all written down this time. Don't worry. Do not worry. Do not fret, young man. But yeah, so new comic books for tomorrow, Wednesday, September 15th, 2021. DC, we have Justice League 67, Wonder Woman 779. The Joker, number 7. Rorschach finishes its 12-issue maxi series at number 12. I Am Batman, a new take on who's going to be the future Batman coming out of like this future state era. That number 1 starts tomorrow. From the Marvel side, Marauders 24, Fantastic Four 35, Star Wars Darth Vader 16, Black Widow 11, and King the Conqueror number 2, just to name a few. A brand new number 1 from Image, Primordial, comes out tomorrow. Time Before Time number 5. The Scumbag continues at number 10, and Homesick Pilots number 9. Boom Studios gives us 7 Secrets number 12 and Power Rangers number 11, and over AWA, Fight Girls number 3 and Moths number 4. Gentlemen, let's get into a little bit of a comic book talk. So anything from a couple weeks ago, I think we talked like right before the episode, so you know what I read from 2 weeks ago. What did you guys like from the last couple weeks? If it's something that you read last week that you know I don't read, by all means, go ahead and discuss it. Or obviously books that coming out tomorrow. What are you excited for? Let's get into the comic book talk.
Well, I know that last week when it was you and I, Mr. Mike, I hinted at the Sinister War number 4. Mark, are you getting that or not? I don't think you are.
No, sir.
And you're not missing
your exact reasoning is going to be why I'm not getting it.
You're not missing much. I definitely was like so intrigued because it is a Spider-Man story. I love all the villains, but it's become just so repetitive that every page, I was telling Mike last week, is pretty much Spider-Man getting his ass whooped by a whole bunch of different villains, and then the villains are starting to fight each other. All the villains pretty much have something within them that was planted that if they aren't the one that kills Spider-Man, they're pretty much all going to die. And of course, Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octavian, he finds a way to get this creature type bomb that's within him, pretty much gets it out of his body, and he actually starts to help Spider-Man. So I guess like that maybe will add something to it. But just long story short, bro, it just really hasn't been that good. It's just so repetitive. There's some pages it's actually like not even writing. It's just Spider-Man like a whole bunch of different times is getting beat up by a whole bunch of villains, and yeah, it's definitely been a little disappointing for sure, bro.
And the art is so different compared to like what I get in like Batman art and some of the DC art. I feel like, I don't know, it's just so different to me. But yeah, I actually went with that Captain America story instead. It was between Sinister War, the United States of Captain America, with Sam Rogers and Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson. So that's a pretty cool little story that's going on right now. I think it's probably a little bit more enjoyable. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to do the Captain America route and getting a lot of Peter Parker type of stuff. So, but yeah, a book that I want to bring up that I think even Mike can chime in this time that was pretty cool was Boom Studios, brought to you by LaToya Morgan and Walt Barna and Dark Blood. Mm-hmm. Mike said something about the first issue. Yes. The second issue, though, it really brought it. I don't know if Sean's reading it.
Yes, I am, brother.
It was
I'm
definitely
loving it.
better. Definitely an upgrade from number 1, I think.
It it was pretty deep, right? I mean, kind of getting with like the whole back in, what was it, like 40s? It's in the 40s, I
Oh,
think. Yeah,
it's way back then, at
1945.
least.
And just like the racism going on and like how he's like kind of turning into like an experiment now. You see the last page, they like inject something in him, right? And yeah, or they give him something because his back is killing him so bad. And then he's got like that, like it looks like a tree on his back or whatever, like something's going on with him. So I mean, it really stepped it up. Then it's just the doctor, you see he injects him in and it's like something happens. So now it's like he's going to be an experiment, it looks like, for like some World War II type shit. So it really stepped it up. I enjoyed it. Read it a while ago, but excited to see what the third one has, man. How'd you like it,
I
Mike?
did like it. It reminds me of the kind of side story to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sean. How they went to the other African American guy's house and they found out that he was also part of the super soldier program, and they just kind of like kicked him to the curb and they put him in jail for 2 or 3 decades. And it's gonna be interesting to see if how similar it is to that, to where something's going to get exposed on what they're doing to these people, and then it being in those times and the unfortunate things that happen to people of color and other minorities. It's going to be interesting to see how it kind of is comparable over the next few months and the next few issues, for sure.
What Mark was saying also is this doctor who's supposed to be helping him had that look on his face once he injected this in his back. So he's definitely turning into some sort of guinea pig. He probably knows he has powers or something. So yeah, this issue 3 is gonna be coming out, man. It's gonna be pretty badass, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Just real quick, what I'm excited about to get tomorrow, which that means I won't be getting until we record next week. But obviously the Joker. Let's see. Moz is pretty good. It's in that Resistance, universe. I think you guys may have read the Resistance, the original 6-part miniseries, and I've jumped all over it. I actually subscribed to like another series out of previews this month that's like in that same world. It's called like Knighted, like another 4 or 5 issue miniseries. It's crazy. But besides that, probably Primordial and The End of Rorschach are probably my top 3 that I'm excited for this week. As far as what I read 2 weeks ago, my favorite, Mark, we were talking about it, but Geiger, my favorite. I got 6 books 2 weeks ago. Geiger number 6 was my favorite of the 6. Just to end that story arc and end like I think the story for a while. It's kind of weird. I know they have some. If you look at the very back cover, they have like an 80-page giant that has a couple of different side stories coming out November 24th. But I don't know if the story's coming back before the end of 2021. So definitely a good little cliffhanger, so to speak, with what's going to happen. They're kind of setting up this own universe, that's decades after what we are experiencing now with, the nuclear war, and then this guy who's, goddamn Dr. Phosphorus on steroids,
Yeah, you enjoyed it obviously a lot more than I did. It was cool, but it's probably going to continue on. I don't know if I am, though, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Sean, you still getting it?
I did not actually get the last issue. I just didn't have it on my pool, which I already told Alex to give me it. But I've liked it so far. It's okay. Probably a little bit more than you do, Mark. I like the aspect of obviously the kids and they're hanging out with this glowing guy. How do you ever survive this apocalypse? But no, it's a cool little story. Something. I guess I just want to see the direction it goes with the next arc, but it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and then you kind of assume, well, I'm not going to give away the whole thing, Sean, because you just said that you hadn't read it, but yeah, stuff happens where people may have died, and going forward, it's who are going to be the villains and whatnot, and then of course, but if you read number 5, you read that the little boy was sick and stuff. So them getting out of that little bunker and everything was a pretty trippy, couple panels. So I thought it was a good end to the series. And then hopefully, that 80-page giant seems to be like some sort of like an annual or Batman's Secret Files, like one of those issues to where it kind of gives a background history of a couple other characters that you see throughout the first 6 issues. So I think it's gonna be cool. But yeah, moving on, guys. What else did you like from the last few weeks?
Undiscovered Country, another one that I know we all read. I actually liked it. They went to a new land with that version of a George Washington who's supposed to help him, and sure enough, he's actually working for the quote unquote devil. I like it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That first issue with all the people climbing up the boat and stuff, and I was like, whatever. It pulled me back in with the different heroes, and everything, and how they defeated it was kind of funny at the same time. So this arc is getting better and better, I think, as this is the third issue of the arc. I thought it was really good. Mark, what about you?
You like Made in Korea, Sean?
Made in Korea. That's another one that Alex is actually ordering for me. He had no more copies, so I should be getting that this week.
Dude. Oh,
okay. I'm loving it, though. I'm loving it.
I won't talk about it then.
Oh, please do. Don't
let
me stop.
We'll just talk about it probably next week or whatever. I think maybe the next issue will come out in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that one's pretty fun. Still continuing on. Did you get this one, Sean? I think Mike did. If you want to mention this one real quick.
Mike did. I didn't get it. You guys can definitely go at that one. Actually, yeah, I'm interested, though.
This one was like that Red Atlantis from Aftershock. It was like the spies, and now they're like working with like FBI agents to try to get into the country and CIA. Have all like, and I mean, I don't know. I like this kind of like I kind of like this type of stuff, this like espionage stuff and whatnot. So
I think you'd like The Americans then on FX. I know me and Sean both watched it. That's a great series. And it's FX, so of course it has the adult theme to it. The cussing and the gore and the like what you would expect from like an HBO series. But FX is definitely bringing it. One of my favorite aspects of the first issue though was when he called her out, the agent, like, hey, maybe you should stop fidgeting with your wig so much. You're causing some attention. Yeah. It's like so they knew, like they were more like seasoned spies and the actual CIA agents. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty cool.
And then and then they give them the fake names.
Yeah, exactly. They go back and forth with their history and then like how they got to where they were. I thought they were going to be in America for a lot longer, so I don't know how this is going to kind of play out. It definitely is a different direction than what the Americans went through, but like at the end of the book, like they actually show a picture of the actual two people that the story's based off of, and gives like an actual picture of them. Like it's not blurred out. It's not like, hey, what's up? No, it actually shows them. So that's pretty cool. I thought more was going to happen, but basically the whole story, starts and finishes with them finally, welcome to America. So the other, I'm sure I think it's a 6-issue miniseries. I think so. So definitely, hopefully, get more into their stories about being in America come the next few months. But yeah, Joe is asking us, what's up, Joe? Did you guys see that Wolverine game trailer? Dude, that looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm obviously not a huge gamer anymore.
It looks badass, bro.
I get a chance to play video games once every like 3 weeks now, but it looked really, really good. I mean, some of these games are just like amazing, bro. Amazing. The Miles Morales Spider-Man game, all the Assassin's Creeds, this God of War. Oh, dude. Amazing graphics.
Mature audiences.
I know. Amazing game. So, anything else, guys? That Fear State was pretty cool. Kind of getting us ready for this new thing. And then at the same time, this Infinite Frontier. Infinite Frontier was probably my favorite issue so far, Mark. Number 5 of 6. You actually get to see Darkseid. He unveils himself. Roy Harper tries to help them out by kind of, unleashing his power of the Black Lantern, like where he's dead or whatever. But Darkseid takes advantage of him unleashing that power and like kind of takes it all in. So now Darkseid has control over pretty much everything over the whole multiverse. So who knows what's going to happen going forward, but probably my favorite issue of that little, bi-weekly miniseries so far. So yeah.
But I actually enjoyed Detective Comics, bro. Did you read that one?
Is it from if it's from last week, then no.
Was it from last week? I can't remember. I just read it, but it's with Vil. Vil's still in it, and then they think that they killed him, but they didn't.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, that was from like we might have
2 weeks ago, right?
I think me and Sean mentioned it last week, so I don't think we mentioned it with you. Yeah, no, that was a really good issue.
When they cut him up.
Yeah.
And his like little eggs dude, that's gonna be a badass story, bro. I'm telling you. The little eggs like go into the sewage. And dude, like Batman hit him like, and he like coughed out the parasite, and then Huntress like whoosh, with the bow got the damn parasite. They're like, oh, this fool is dead. Cut him open, just nothing but eggs, larvae just spewing out of his guts, right? Like into the sewers of Gothamville. No, right? It's gonna be. I'm telling you, Tamaki's killing it on this story, man.
She's doing a really good job, bro.
I love it, dude.
Really, really good job. What else? Wonder Girl's pretty good. 3 issues in. Like I told Sean the other day, it feels like one of those. Like how Undiscovered Country was like, how I would get it on the first week of one week, and then the next month it would come out the last week. So it felt like, I need to go back and read issue 2 before I, read issue 3. But no, it's a pretty good story. It's
Nice House on the Lake. Anyone read it yet?
No, I'm looking at it right now, literally.
So trippy. I mean, it's good, but man, it's like a wild ride. Like I feel like it's like issue 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like I'm just still nowhere. Like, but it's like you don't want to leave it. It's like a real thriller, because I feel like like the clues that are given to you, if you're into like the mystery thriller like type stuff, it's like it's clues, but you can't really make anything out. And it's just like, what the hell is really going on, But they always show the dude, and he always got the damn white eyes. It's just, I mean, it's a crazy story that Tynion's got there, but
I mean, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to cut in real quick. There is a bunch of books that I see in my stack that I just got yesterday or 2 days ago that I am thoroughly excited to talk about next week. The 5th and final issue of Eve. You have that the Maze book, number 1. You have the finale of Infinite Frontier. You have a Nice House on the Lake. You have Batman, Catwoman. You have, of course, Batman.
Batman was good.
You have all those. I can't wait to read those and get into it next week. It's going to be really, really fun.
I did finish King Spawn, by the way.
Oh, how was that?
And it was all right. It was actually 2 issues in one. And it was okay. I mean, pretty much. I don't really know too much history of Spawn. I mean, I've seen that old movie, which kind of was but there was something there. Like, I'm like, this actually there it is. Where I'm like, this actually could be a dope-ass character. I think there's another story coming out maybe in October, I think is what it said. I just really realized with him, he is the judge and the jury. That is for damn sure. I don't know. It's okay. I don't know if it's something I'll get the next story that comes out off of this arc, but we'll see. It was decent. The artwork was okay, but there was a lot of reading, which was cool, but it was kind of like, it was one of those things that it's just like already like a story was already going on. So I was a little confused on certain things, but overall it was all right.
Nice. Well, if Mark, Sean, you guys have anything else to talk about? We can get into a few.
Well, I do like this week, adding to what you said, I definitely love the Joker. I know I mentioned it to you last week, and with Mark here, Joker this week, I'm looking just so damn excited. Looking so forward to it, bro.
I mean, go ahead, Mark, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll save it for later. Go ahead.
One of the reasons why, like, Rorschach's a good story, but one of the reasons why I'm so stoked to get and finish Rorschach number 12 and Strange Adventures, I think in a week or two, number 12, and finish those stories, is because I have a full comic book box just sitting in the middle of my garage, and once those 2 books are bagged and board and put in there, I can file it away as a completed box. But I'm already halfway through the next box, just waiting for me to, because like I kind of keep stories in one box, you know what I'm saying? Like unless of course it's Batman or action or something continuing, right? And so for months, 6 months, I've had a full comic book box, but I've been waiting to get like the last of that Green Lantern story, and then now Rorschach and Strange Adventures. So partly the reason why I'm so excited to get these last 2 issues of these books, I can put away this damn box on my shelf. But go ahead, Mark. Where's my rant?
Marcus.
I was going to say, since it's getting close to the cutoff date for previews orders, I have not. Have you guys put in your order if you guys want to share it?
I'm going to email Alex in the next couple of days. I have mine right here. I do have that One Dark Night that you said, Mark. That pull list.
Jock.
And then that's the only pull list one from DC. I have like this Fear State Alpha. There's a Batman Fear State Omega. So somewhere along this storyline, there's another one of these little one-shots. And then actually Gotham City Villains Anniversary Giant. So you have all these 80-page, 100-page giants with Robin, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Flash. There's a Gotham City Villains one. So I think you would really like that, Mark. It's in the DC preview. So basically all villains.
Cobblepot?
Yeah,
all
of them.
The one and only.
Freeze?
Yeah, exactly. So I pulled one Dark Horse, 2 Boom Studios, 1 AWA, and actually I pulled one little Source Point Press. I pulled one.
Look at
there
it
is. They're not giving out the full page spread for nothing now.
I know. Did you look through it and pull one or no?
I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm looking through.
Okay, cool.
I'm finishing mine
tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and compare the lists tomorrow, like for sure. I mean, next week for sure after we've already sent the order out. But yeah, there's some really good ones. Including
6 to 7.
Including Frank Gogol. I think this Power Rangers universe, I think is Frank Gogol. So,
friend of the show.
That's going to be how many issues you mentioned, Mark or Mike? 4 or 5?
I think it's 6 for Frank. I
think
it's 6. Yeah.
Nice,
Frank the
yeah,
Tank.
so he's coming up definitely with not just Source Point Press, but now he's getting like at least 6 issues from other places like Boom Studios, and not just the one shot like he had. So, but yeah, so that's the comic books. Let's get into a little bit of news. You guys throw out some headlines. I'm going to throw out some quick ones. Obviously, we have some other ones to like further get into. So starting off with Shang-Chi. For the second straight week, it's the #1 movie at the box office. It narrowly.
Who's seen it?
Yeah, exactly. Who's seen it? So I haven't seen it yet. We're not going to give a review, obviously, just yet, but I'm looking for, obviously, a weekend to where we can drop the kiddos off and me and my wife can go see it in the theaters. We don't have the luxury of just paying the $30 at home for this one, but I'm excited to get to the theaters nonetheless. It beat out the movie Malignant. That just came out last week, so it beat out Malignant to be the #1 box office movie for the second straight week. The Little Mermaid finally has a release date. The remake of the live-action Little Mermaid now has a release date of May 26th, 2022. So that one's going to be, I can't wait. Like any remake, it's been like kind of hit or miss, with the remakes, but,
Yeah, it has.
It's been hit or miss. Like I loved Cruella. I loved Jungle,
Cruella
the Jungle Cruise, but then I didn't really like
Cruise.
Tarzan was okay, and Aladdin was just okay, and Mulan was like probably one of the lower.
Aladdin
ones.
was pretty.
Aladdin
good.
was pretty cool. Like
Lion King was kind of trash.
I liked Lion King. Yeah,
Did you?
I liked Lion King.
Well, yeah, Lion King was okay. I like all
Lion
of
King.
them.
Lion King was cool. I loved Jungle Book. That was a good one.
Jungle Book was badass.
With what's his name is Shere Khan the tiger.
No.
Idris Elba was Shere Khan the tiger. He was ruthless. Let's see. What else we have here. Oh, the first trailer. If anyone's seen it, the first trailer for Marvel's Hawkeye.
That
one. So that one's coming
Looking
out.
at it right
that
now.
one's coming out too. The Batman. Its spin-off series that we're hearing so much about the Gotham City PD or whatever, it's going to focus on Oswald Cobblepot, a.k.a. the Penguin's rise to fame in the underground.
Colin Farrell.
Wait, what is this?
So this is the HBO Max spin-off series
HBO
to
Max.
The Batman. And then we're going to see it's going to be focusing on, obviously, Gotham City PD during, I think, year 1. I think year 2 is the Batman movie, so this is kind of like a prequel.
So we're going to get
Gordon.
Gordon.
Get Oswald Cobblepot as the Penguin and his kind of rise, to, in the underground and, coming up as a villain. Let's see.
Do we get DeVito back, though?
I know.
Yeah,
actually, Danny
back?
DeVito, in that Gotham City Villains 80-page spectacular, he is writing the Penguin story.
Oh, really?
He's writing the story.
Is someone telling him what to write, and he's just?
I forgot to mention that.
Come
It's
on,
kind of cool.
Sean.
It just came back in my head.
Come on, man. It's always sunny. You ain't giving them.
I wouldn't be surprised
if
if he wrote a couple of those episodes. Trash man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Time to Die. The new James Bond movie coming out soon is going to be the longest James Bond movie to date.
Tiempo para morir.
So I can't get enough. I don't care who the James Bond is, and whether it's on the silver screen or if it's in my hands reading a book. I absolutely love James Bond. Love it.
I got a couple of things I was going to bring up, Mr. Mike, if you don't mind me to take 20 seconds right here.
Cut in.
I seen that the director of Venom has already confirmed that there will be some sort of crossover with the Tom Holland
Oh,
Spider-Man.
nice.
That's
Opening up
fun.
the multiverse of madness. Here we
That
go.
is.
And I guess more of a funny thing, and it's funny we brought up Danny DeVito. I, I did see that they're actually working on having a twins too
Yes.
with Arnold.
No.
Oh my God, that was one of that was probably one of my
Yes.
favorite movies back in the day of,
One of the best childhood movies I think ever. I don't care what anybody
and
says.
it was a movie that we shouldn't have been watching. I think it was like PG-13 or rated R, and I was like 10 watching that stuff, and I was like, what? Like, what are they doing? Like, remember when they all stayed in the room together, and then I think Arnold's trying to get his freak on with that chick? I was like, what the hell? What's going on? Like, I had no idea what the hell's going on. Oh, man.
So that definitely brought a smile to my face. It was definitely nice to see. Yeah, a couple of fun little things
Anything
right there.
anything from you, Mark?
Not much, man.
I have one right here. This is actually amazing. Move over, Batman. Move over, Superman. There's a new head honcho in town, a new character that has the most expensive comic book to date. Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man, a 9.6 graded comic book, sold for $3.6 million. 3.6 million.
What year is that?
Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy 15. You guys can look it up while I finish
The
telling this
40s?
story. No, it was the 60s. It was Stan Lee. So it was the 60s when he went on that run of, Thor and Iron Man and, Black Panther and all those. So look it up. I'm going to say between 1963 and 1965 was Spider-Man. So go ahead and check that out. But it is only one of 4 9.6 graded copies of that in the world. There are 0 9.8 copies, graded copies of Amazing Fantasy 15. So that one that just sold is one of 4 of the most pristine copies of Amazing Fantasy 15. So
62.
Oh, I was off by a year.
Damn,
it.
I'm
Crazy.
way off.
Oh yeah, it's not Golden Age, or is that the end of Golden Age? It might be the Silver Age, I think. But yeah.
And when we're done, I actually have one last thing, Mr. Mike.
That is the last piece of news for myself, sir.
The last news that I see is that Disney, of course, is going to Disney with Marvel, and they have announced 7 dates in the 2023-2024 year for 7 Untitled movies. 3 of them in 2023, 4 of them in 2024, and the bold prediction is that they would include Blade, Fantastic Four, Deadpool 3, Captain America 4, and the other 3 are unknown.
Nice.
Captain America 4?
Yeah.
So it probably involves Sam Wilson.
Sam Wilson has already signed that he will do the next Captain America.
Yeah.
That's already signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Joe's right. I mean, Sean, me and you watched Gotham. So they tried the Oswald Cobblepot story in Gotham, kind of like him being younger. It was okay. He was kind of a crybaby at times, kind of like flying off the edge, kind of different than what you saw in Danny DeVito in Batman Returns. So hopefully hopefully it's a better take on that. Some of the story.
Gotham was a good show.
I did like Gotham. It reminded me of Smallville, though, where we got to see the cape and cowl on the very last scene. Just like in Smallville, we got to see the red cape fly in the last episode of the series. So yeah, so hopefully that's a good.
That's dope, Joe. You watched Gotham too?
Yeah,
Nice, bro. I like that.
I think that's pretty much it. I do have one thing. Now, it's not like the regular, like cancel culture. Like, I can see why they did this, okay? I can see why they did this. And my wife told me before we jumped on right here. Disneyland has closed Toontown, or, Roger Rabbit, Toontown, right? For a little bit, because they're working on changing the image of Jessica Rabbit to be more culturally acceptable. I can see that. Like if you're, trying to get at kids and Jessica Rabbit is like dressed like one whole leg showing, the
red
boobies
dress
out, like definitely can see that. Like that whole Lola Bunny thing, I was like, I don't really see it like from Space Jam 1 to Space Jam 2, but I definitely can see why they would do that for Jessica Rabbit. I mean, it's one of the lesser severe, cancel cultures as far as like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
As far as Disney's concerned, yeah.
Like on the other side of the spectrum, when people complain they wanted to get rid of the kissing scene in the Snow White ride, I mean, that's BS. she should be able to give her what was it? She is not able to give her permission to be kissed. I was like, oh my God, it's a freaking story. She's asleep. She was poisoned. He's trying to kiss her. Like, the happy ending. Like, stop trying to ruin this stuff. This stuff that's from, like, the 1930s. Like, stop it. But Jessica Rabbit, okay. I can see that one.
Put more clothes on her.
Yeah,
all right,
fine.
whatever.
Put some. Actually, the story is that she's going to be like a private eye detective, trying to right the wrongs of injustices in the cartoon land. So she's basically going to look like Carmen Sandiego, is what I told my wife. She's going to be in a trench coat and a hat. She's still going to have the hair with one eye. Like, oh my God, what's up, Jessica Rabbit hair? She's going to look like Carmen Sandiego.
Where in the world,
Where
huh?
in the world? Toontown, that's where. But that's it for you guys. That's all for me. That's it for episode 125. Yes, Joe, James Gordon was the man in Gotham. That was he played
badass,
really good
bro.
in Gotham. So, hope you guys
just as good as the Joker book.
Just as good as
Tynion's writing them.
No, it was him younger. It was him trying to find his ways.
Different
as being,
aspect.
Like, he wasn't the commissioner yet. Yeah,
Oh.
It was him younger. Like
Jim
Gotham,
Gordon, that boy's getting in trouble.
The show
man.
Gotham, he was. Bruce Wayne was a kid. Like, it starts off, it was a kid, and just the relationship between them, and then of course, the Riddler's young, Penguin is young, the Joker comes in at a later date. That kind of was a weird story with how
they're just becoming basically
it was like the becoming
at that
of,
point. Yeah.
Catwoman's a little kid, it's a little girl, same age as Bruce and stuff, which is kind of weird because they met as kids. And they became friends, which in the comic books they don't meet until after they're already Batman and Catwoman. So it was a cool little take on the history of Gotham City. So, but that's it for episode 125. Hope you all enjoyed. I sure as hell did. Mark, it was great to have you back. It's great to start this TCB Super Contest. And the comic books are fire as always, even though I get them a week late. But yeah, take it away, fellas. 125.
The new Tuesday special bi-weekly by the Comic Bookies podcast. A very fun episode 125. Couldn't be happier to have Mark back. Always special with the brother here. Mike, of course, as always. Joe, Aaron, everyone that's taken time to join us, engage with us. That's what it's all about with us, man. Colliding the world of sports and comics, having fun. Hopefully everyone did have a great week one NFL season, and even better week two. Hopefully everyone goes out there and gets their comic books, support your local comic book shops, stay safe. And as what Mike mentioned earlier, 2 of the 3 comic bookies will be in Vegas next week. One of them will be at the NASCAR, a playoff race. So it'll be super, super fun and badass. I'm sure there'll be a lot of videos and pictures taken there. But definitely just keep checking us out. You guys will get the social medias, all the contacts, weekly, free, the best price in America. And just keep supporting us, guys. We'll keep providing the content week in and week out. We love you guys.
Definitely. Just like Sean said, keep supporting, keep telling everybody about us, keep listening to us. Thank you, everybody that joins us live. And thank you to our sponsor as well. It's fun, man. Back in the saddle with you guys. Been a couple weeks. But what better week to join with the NFL, NCAA kicking off, going into week 3. We going into week 2. We got these lines. I hope that everybody and their families are staying safe out there. The autumn wind is a raider. The autumn wind is blowing in. And like I said, I felt it chilly around here. We're approaching a different season. So new season, new money, new beginnings, and let's just keep it real out there. Love one another, and thank you guys for always listening to the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you, Brasi. Thank you, Herman. 125, century and a quarter. We're here, so let's keep continuing.
There it is. For those of you who are heading back to work after a whole year and a half, please shoot us a message, a text, or whatever, and we'll send you some flyers so you can start passing it around to your coworkers, get the word out. Of course, listen or watch us wherever you can. Again, if you're listening right now, if you're watching right now, please hit us up and give us your first 4 picks for week 2, and we'll add you to the super contest. It's a season-long thing. We're going to be fighting for a steak dinner. You guys can just kind of join in for the fun and see if you can beat the comic bookies of the Comic Bookies podcast. But for Mark and for Sean, this is Mike. This has been the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much to everyone who's been downloading, subscribing, listening, sharing, whatever have you. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace out. I'm going to go barbecue some pork butt.
Peace.
Peace. And always enjoy each other. And don't ever take anybody's silence for granted or anything, because some people keep stuff in them. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald. Dealing with cancer silently, not really putting it out there, but at 61, the comedian stand-up for SNL, famously known, has passed away, guys. So don't take life for granted. Love one another as we love you. TCB family, thank you, guys. We out.